Let Rome in Tiber melt, and the wide arch of the ranged empire fall. In a single sentence, Mark Antony declares his willingness to let his entire civilization wash away. This is the physical reality of that choice. When a leader places personal attachment above public duty, the center cannot hold, and the empire collapses into ruins. Before this collapse, Mark Antony was at the absolute pinnacle of Roman power. He was a brilliant, capable leader whose entire identity was built on political responsibility and military strength. Then his relationship with the Egyptian queen begins. What starts as affection deepens into an all-consuming attachment that overrides his political judgment. Shakespeare captures the precise point where a leader's internal structure gives way, documenting a systemic failure of psychological and ethical integrity. Traditional literary critique often frames this narrative as a standard cautionary tale of passion overcoming reason. But that framing lacks the precision to explain the exact mechanics of how such a formidable mind breaks down. To accurately map that breakdown, we need a sharper diagnostic tool. We find it in ancient Indian knowledge systems. These philosophical traditions treat the conflict between duty and desire as a problem of structural engineering within the human mind, analyzing how different forces bear weight on our decisions. Applying this framework reveals the specific mechanics behind Antony's collapse, mapping the gradual drift from discipline into total imbalance. This animated scale visualizes a core concept in Indian philosophy, Kāma. It represents desire, affection, and love, and it is recognized as a completely legitimate and necessary aim of human life. The tragedy is not that Antony experienced Kāma. Desire itself is a natural, positive aspect of life, providing vitality. However, that force requires a counterweight to function safely, Dharma, our ethical responsibility. We can watch this mechanism fail through Antony's choices. As his attachment grows unchecked, the weight of his desire completely overwhelms his sense of duty. His ultimate failure occurred when Kāma severed its anchor to Dharma. To prevent this collapse, Antony needed a specific psychological tool. Indian wisdom calls this Vairāgya. Vairāgya is often conflated with asceticism, the idea of a total monk-like withdrawal from the physical world and all its pleasures. It functions more as a filter for attachment. It provides the mental space to experience the world without being enslaved by it, keeping judgment clear even in the midst of intense emotion. Because Antony lacks Vairāgya, his desires run on autopilot. He cannot detach from his immediate impulses long enough to see the long-term ruin he is causing. Without that vital inner balance, even the most capable leader will eventually watch their personal desires consume their public responsibilities. We may not be managing the armies of the Roman Empire, but we manage this exact same structural tension every single day. We constantly negotiate our own micro-dilemmas, weighing intense career ambitions against time with family, or balancing our individual happiness against our obligations to our communities. The enduring lesson from both Shakespeare and Indian philosophy is that an engaged, fulfilled life does not require us to kill our natural desires. True fulfillment arrives only when we deliberately place those intense desires within a rigid framework of wisdom and ethical commitment. To build that framework, we have to change how we interrogate our own motives. Modern society trains us to constantly ask, "What do I desire?" The more structurally sound question is, "Does my desire help me fulfill my higher responsibilities?" This harmony keeps a leader's judgment grounded, ensuring that personal desire serves rather than sabotages the higher purpose of their life.